Hello. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for venturing out in the cold, in the face of a big winter storm, to join us for Food Trotters. We are really excited here in Global Education and International Affairs to be sponsoring this new video series called Food Trotters. My name is John Sunnigard. I'm the Associate Provost for Global Learning and International Affairs here at Western Kentucky University. And I'd like to be having a conversation with our entire community about food and what it represents to us culturally, as home, and as love. I'm going to be joined tonight by two of our wonderful students, and I'll introduce them in just a minute. But first, I'd like to just talk a little bit about food and culture and our relationship with it. I've had the incredible fortune of being able to live in 4 countries outside the United States. I first lived abroad in Belgium when I was 10, and there's nothing that I missed more than a good cheeseburger. I remember we went to the Hilton in Brussels, and I ordered a cheeseburger, and I started to pick it up, and everyone looked at me like I was crazy because instead of using a knife and a fork to eat my burger, I was using my hands. Made me feel very uncomfortable, especially when it was something that was so special to me that I was having. And I thought, I'm never going to eat Belgian food. You know, they don't know how to eat. Well, I was wrong. Chocolate, a lot of other wonderful things. But I learned from that early age just how deep food is and what it means to me as an American and what it means to other people and how we eat and how we express ourselves with food, what it means to other people in other cultures. We're very fortunate here at Western Kentucky to have students from all over the world. In Bowling Green, we have a wonderful community of Kentuckians and people from all over the world. People who brought a variety of different food traditions, a variety of different flavors and tastes and ways to eat food and to drink beverages, tea and coffee and other things. We hope that through this exploration of Food Trotters, to bring all of us at Western Kentucky University and in Bowling Green in Kentucky, just a little bit closer to some of these food items. So joining me tonight are Subarna. Hi,
Hello.
Subarna.
Hi, John.
Can you just take a second and tell us about yourself, what you're studying, where you come from?
Okay, so my name is Subarna, as John said. Very well pronounced, by the way. My journey at Western started in 2015 when I came for my master's here in organizational leadership with an emphasis in business. I graduated, I worked, and then I came back for my doctorate in education. And currently I'm in my second year of my doctorate, and I'm from India. So that's what will be one of the contributions from my end, talking about Indian food today. And that's about it for now.
Great. Thank you, Subarna. I cannot wait to hear about Indian food. And oh my gosh, there is so much variety and so much diversity to Indian food. It's a huge country, a huge continent with so many different cultures and peoples and ways of doing things. So thank you for joining us tonight, Subarna.
Thank you.
I'd also like to welcome Kazi.
Hey,
Hi,
John.
Kazi. How are you?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm well, thanks. So, Kazi, where are you from? What are you studying here at Western Kentucky?
Well, I'm from the Bahamas, Nassau, Bahamas. It's located in the Caribbean. I came to Western. This is my second year, my sophomore year, and I'm studying finance, and I have a minor in international business.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Subarna, can you come back? So one thing, Bahamas, Kazi, if you don't mind my asking, a lot of Americans, you know, we've seen the horrible tragedy that came through with the hurricane. And Americans, when they travel to Bahamas, we like to go to resorts and hang out on the beach and stuff like that, and drink pina coladas and stuff. Is that the kind of food you eat?
Yeah, it is. We eat a lot of native dishes, a lot of seafood. You have your fried snapper, fried grouper, peas and rice, conch salad, stew fish, crab and rice, guava duff. Personally, my favorite, anything conch salad, conch fritters, conch stew. Yeah, so basically, seafood.
Yum. Well, I've never eaten conch. It's something that I'd love to try, but I've never eaten it.
We're gonna try that soon.
Oh, I can't wait. So, Barna, tell me a little bit. So, where in India are you from? It's a big country, very diverse. Where are you from?
I'm from New Delhi, which is North India, and the cuisines that I've mostly had throughout my life are inspired by North Indian dishes, and which will be a very rich food with a lot of different condiments, and we incorporate a lot of cream and dry fruits and such, and we are a non-vegetarian eating kind of portion of India, so we have a variety of those dishes. And I am a Bengali from my culture is from the east, so and then I've also eaten those things, which is all seafood. So it's a combination. It's a wild combination. There's so much I've eaten. If you see me in person, you'll know.
Cool. So now I love Indian food. And my first exposure to Indian food was when I was living in England. And I used to eat Indian food all the time. Right around the corner from my office was an amazing Indian restaurant that was very, very inexpensive. And so I got to know a little bit of sort of British Indian food. But it wasn't until I actually traveled to India that I had the opportunity to, really eat Indian food. And it is so different from, what I had in some of the restaurants, and especially some of the smaller places that we ate in India and along the street and things like that, the kind of food that's available. But I also appreciate the journey that your family has taken, right? From Bengal, which is far to the east, down to, to the sort of northwest, right? To Delhi.
Yeah.
Those are two very, very different parts of India. Right. So what in your family, what does food mean? What are the feelings that are associated with food in your family in India?
My family is very not super bifurcated. So my mom is a healthy eater. She has very fixed times that she will eat. She will always set a routine. She does not like a ton of fat in her food or carbs in her food. That's why she is the thinnest in our family, and she has remained that way. In fact, everyone in my family is pretty lean, except for some people, because some people just went out and had all the fat and carbs. So me and my brother, we are very carb and fat oriented people. So we have a balance when it comes to our family household cooking. There's healthy mixed with a little bit of that deliciousness that people call fat and carbs. So I would say that it's we make a balanced diet. Say in our regular meal, there will be say three or four condiments. One will has to be fish. My mom is pescatarian, and she's also like a biology. She did biology when she was in college and in her master's. So she has a nutritional side of things, and she believes fish can solve all problems in the world and health. So she will always incorporate fish in every one meal a day. Then we have some legumes like dal. I mean, I'm sure you know what a dal is, but I don't know if others know. But it's like I don't know. It's legumes.
Lentils, isn't it?
Lentils, yes, lentils, and variety of those. That will be there. Then there will be some vegetables, some rice, and some roti, chapati. It's the household bread that most Indians eat. At least in the north we do. So it's a balanced combination. And when it's gatherings such as family event, when we're celebrating something, we go all out. We'll eat all the butter, all the carb, all the oil, everything that we need to eat. The chicken, goat, lamb, fish. I don't know. It's a lot of food, and it's just yeah.
Wow,
I
that sounds great.
yeah.
You must miss that.
Yes, that's the one thing. I think it's a constant for most internationals. It's that one connection that will always be lacking. I mean, here that we have like options to go and try Indian food, but it's never authentic. It's never
Mhm.
what we get back home. That flavor is very, very, I don't know, traditional to the place we come from. And I know people try to replicate. I try to replicate. My friends love my food. When they eat, they're like, "Oh, this is so good. This is the best thing I've." I personally, I'm like, "Yeah, sure. You say that, but you don't know." Actually, a small incident. A friend of mine, Annie, she's from Canada. She was a soccer goalkeeper for Western until I think 2019. She visited me in India in 2019, and she ate the first bite she ate, and she was like, "Yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying." When we came back, none of us could go back to the Indian restaurants here because it's just it's a weird transition.
I understand. I understand. It's tough, and it just you can't get that same flavor.
You know?
So, Kazi, what's food to your family? You know, what who makes the food in your family?
Okay. Just to add on to what Sabana said, we also have our diet is also balanced. We have a lot of chicken, protein, starch, rice, potatoes, salads, greens. In my family, my father does the cooking. I'm my mother sometimes. My father does the cooking. I'm basically just there to eat. So I think I have the best job. But yeah, but like Sabana was saying, with food in my family, we use it as like a connection. So we have every event or holiday, we come together, we do a big spread, and that's when we use that time to, just to reconcile with each other, to eat and just have some fun.
Nice. What's your favorite holiday food, Kazi?
Hmm. I honestly don't know. I just love conch. So the
Sure.
conch stew. We probably do that around New Year's Day, around that
Hmm.
time. So that's probably my favorite dish. I wouldn't say we necessarily have certain dishes aligned with holidays.
Uh-huh.
We usually just cook based on how everyone's feeling, but conch stew, that's my favorite.
So one thing that I love about Indian food is it's super spicy. Like I really love spicy food. Is Bahamian food spicy?
Yeah, we use a lot of spices at times. So yes, and like in my conch salad, that I displayed when we had our global learning farm, we use a lot of herbs in that, some tomatoes, like a lot of natural stuff, ingredients like that. So
Let me ask you something, John. When you
Yeah,
say you like spicy, do you like the flavor or the heat?
both.
Okay, because there is different kinds. I mean, sometimes people confuse spicy with heat.
mhm.
Yeah.
So, in my understanding, spices, when they come together in the right way, they bring about that flavor that is so delicious. And yes, if you want a little kick, yes, we know what to add to that to give you that kick. But there's a difference, and I would like to like give it out.
There absolutely is, and in American English anyway, actually in British English they don't even know what spice is. But in American English, we tend to use spice to mean basically hot and
Yeah.
very hot and that kind of thing, right? But it does not begin to describe all the different dimensions of spice. And what I really love in a spicy dish is not something that just burns, right?
Mhm,
But
mhm,
you know, a good spice is sort of like salt. You
mhm.
add it and it magnifies other flavors
Right.
and other flavors in the food. And that's what I really love about spice when it's done really well. And that's what I really appreciate about Indian food is it gets you in so many different places.
Yes.
So you're here in the United States.
Mhm.
Kentucky's a little far from the ocean, as is Delhi. Delhi
It
pretty
is.
far too.
Agreed.
But and you love seafood, you love fish, you love conch. Can you get that here?
No, not really. We can't. It cannot be replicated, to be honest. No.
It's true. I agree with Kazi. Yes, you will get seafood per se. Say you'll get shrimp, you'll get tilapia, you'll get salmon. Though I'm just naming cod. Like those are the few categories of seafood that you will see generally available, readily available in the stores near you. But the kind of foods that we have been raised with, the variety of fishes, I'm sure in my life until before I came to the United States and even after I've been visiting home, I'm sure I've tried at least 20 different types of fishes or more. I wouldn't be able to say exactly the number, but it's just a different flavor. We have freshwater, saltwater, sea, ocean, different, like all sorts of foods coming in to our region and we eat it. And since Bangladesh is one of the biggest, importers of seafood and it's so close to West Bengal, so it comes in there. And yeah, it cannot be replicated. Absolutely not.
And in the United States, it seems we have access. There are people who fish, right, and catch their own fish and fresh fish. And Kentucky's actually pretty rich in terms of fresh fish. Rarely can you actually go out and buy it, right? You can't go to Kroger, or Meijer or someplace like that and actually get local fish.
Mm-hmm.
But then you will see. Basically, we have 5 fishes in the United States:
Yes.
salmon, no. Salmon and maybe some cod, maybe some halibut, maybe some swordfish, tuna, and tuna like somehow doesn't come from a fish. It comes in a piece of plastic or in a can or something like that. Do you have those fishes in Bahamas?
Yeah, we do, to be honest. But a lot of our most famous, we grouper, snapper. That's what a lot of people cater to when they come to the Bahamas. We have crustaceans like crabs, shrimps, stuff like that we eat. So yeah, we do, but they cater more to those type of things.
Same. We have all those fishes, but I'll say one thing. It's not that it's not all, like, of course all the variety will not be available because these are 2 different parts of the world. And some fishes definitely are not going to be here and some fishes from here will not be there. But the tip for, as an international student that I learned much earlier was, for every region there is a market. So if it's seafood, if it's Chinese food, Asian food in general, there are these big stores that sell very fresh caught fishes. Sometimes they are in the tank and you can take it out and eat. That's another thing. The freshness of the food matters a lot for the food to taste a certain way. So yeah, having knowledge of those things is key. So if you are feeling adventurous, yes, you have the places to go explore and find stuff that you want.
So you can find the things that you need to cook with in Bowling Green?
Yes.
Did you get them at Kroger?
No.
Where do you go?
There are 3 stores, mainly one store, which is an international market. It's on the US 31 bypass, I think. I don't want to give out wrong information, but it's somewhere in that zone. And they have all the spices, all the vegetables sometimes that I want to cook with, because most vegetables that we eat is not here sometimes. And then there is like all fresh, natural stuff that one wants to cook with. It's there. So yes, the replication is pretty much 99%. That one person lacks, but it doesn't feel too bad.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. You can make it without that 1%, I guess. Kazi, where do you shop?
Well, I wish I could cook so I could make some Bahamian meals, but I don't shop anywhere. I just do the meal plan here, so I'm kind of jealous
Right,
of Susanna because I can't really cook, but when I do travel back home, I tend to bring food with me. So I guess that's a plus.
Me too. My mom
Mhm.
seals it well and tight
Mhm.
in a container, and it comes back with me.
I think it's a must that I do that. That I bring
It's a
food.
requirement. It's a requirement. It goes straight
Yeah,
into the freezer,
Yep.
and it's eaten over several next days.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Bring a little bit of mom's love with you or dad's
Yeah.
love with you and put it in your freezer.
Well, technically, yeah, my grandmother. My mom is not so much of a cook.
Ah.
She's
Mhm.
not so much of a cook. My grandmother is a fantastic cook. And my mom employs someone to cook for her. So she gives her directions. I want it this way. So I would say my cook's love comes back with me.
Cool. So, well, Kazi, you say you eat it fresh. So you're eating a lot of American food.
Yeah.
What do you like?
Oh, I'm glad you asked me this. Somebody cooked me lasagna one time. I just I fell in love after that. That was the best lasagna I ever had. We use this expression would say, you put your foot in it. That expression means that even if someone put their foot in the food, we would still eat it. That's so excellent.
Ah, okay.
So I would say some lasagna, that off the chain.
That's awesome. So, ladies, if you want to really get Kazi to fall in love with you, lasagna is
Yep,
your
some
plate.
lasagna.
Cool. How about you, Sabarna? What kind of American food do you like?
Oh, so many things. I like a well-cooked steak. If it's like the perfect medium well or medium, I love it. With a little bit of Cajun butter on top, you slice it in, and it's oh yes, it's there's a lot. Mashed potatoes, biscuits, red lobster biscuits. Those are
Ooh.
my favorite. And then there's a lot of American food that I can just yeah, hamburger, a regular hamburger with the right condiments, with caramelized onions, mushrooms. The list goes on. There's a lot of what I do
Cool.
is I try to merge my Indian with the American.
I love it. Sabarna's fusion. That is because that so much great food is that mixture of what's fresh and what's good in different places and bringing it all together.
You all need to try the butter chicken lasagna. The sauce in each layer
Yep.
with a little bit of the cheese, ricotta. It's and the pieces of chicken just melting in your mouth. Kazi, this is all directed towards you.
You. I have to try that. It sounds. Yeah, my mouth
But
is
it
watering
is
over
pretty delicious when you mix two things together that fit right. It is so good. And with American food, the one thing I like is it can be portioned and can be eaten very cleanly. Like, with Indian food, you got to mix and match. Like, it's always going back and forth. With Indian food, you put it all in a baking dish, gets baked, don't worry about it, and then come back, cut a slice, and go for it. So it's amazing.
Cool. Well, we have some questions.
Yes.
There's some, we're so delighted that people are asking questions, and please, please, please ask some more. So Wesley Ann Watkins asks, as you know, many Americans love peanut butter. Sabarna and Kazi, what do you think of peanut butter?
You can go ahead first.
Well, I don't know if I will get any backlash from this, but I'm not a big peanut butter fan. I've had it before, but I'm not a big fan of peanut butter.
I love peanut butter. It's really delicious. But I do judge people who like creamy, not crunchy. I have a debate every time. Most of the times I've met my friends in the past when I discovered peanut butter. I was basing my friendship on the basis of what do you like, crunchy or creamy? So that would become the base.
And so what do you like?
Crunchy.
Crunchy.
Any day, crunchy. Come on.
Crunchy.
No comparison.
What do you do with your peanut butter? Put it on a papadum?
Nope. Just in a spoon, go straight in the mouth. I did not know that peanut butter had health benefits until I read it somewhere. So that was like my go-to breakfast for a while. A banana and a scoop of peanut butter. I would literally eat that every morning and head out for classes or work on campus or whatever it is I was doing. And I did lose a lot of weight doing that. And I need to go back to doing that. I'm just bad with it. I don't know why. I need to just do it.
I think I I moved here. I moved to Kentucky from Colorado 2.5 years ago, and I think in that time I gained about 15 pounds. So
Kentucky does that to you, but not gonna say bad things. Kentucky food is delicious, and I did lose a lot of weight. It's my personal habits that might have interfered.
well, that's a great connection to our next question.
Right.
What's your favorite Southern food?
Well, I think I already answered this, and I showed my love for lasagna. So,
Lasagna.
yep, 100 out of 10 lasagna.
Thanksgiving dinner
Oh,
in a
great.
in a Southern house. Thanksgiving dinner, all the desserts, condiments, just throw them at me. I will go for seconds. I will go for thirds. It is delicious. It is delicious. There's no hands down. It's amazing. Biscuits. Oh my goodness, biscuits. Chili. Oh, is it Southern chili?
Uh, Texas is definitely considered the South. Now,
So South.
my
Then
family, part of my family is from New Mexico, and every year there's a big chili cook-off between New Mexico and Texas. And New
and
Mexico chili is a little different from Texas chili. I tend to prefer the New Mexico chili, but
interesting. Bourbon. I love bourbon in my dessert and otherwise. Yes.
biscuits and gravy.
Yes.
I have not, so I'm looking forward to someone reach out to me and let me try some biscuits and gravy or any food. I love food, so don't be afraid to reach out or send me a dish.
Well, that is truly a Southern dish, biscuits and gravy. So Bryson Keltner has asked us, after you came to the United States, what food did you think was the weirdest food? And did you like it?
The one that I tried was at Cracker Barrel, and all my American, let's call them Caucasian friends, they all were like, "You gotta try chicken and dumplings. You gotta try chicken and dumplings." Did not like. Nope. It's
Didn't
just
do it for you, huh?
it's just dough. Like you're eating a lot of dough. It's like it didn't go down. I think the reason was I missed the flavoring. I always like food with a little bit of flavor. I didn't find that, and I couldn't like get it to go down.
Well, to answer Bryson's question, one thing that I looked forward to with studying abroad away from the Bahamas was that I got to, try new foods. Like I said, my love for food is undeniable. So I haven't met a food that I didn't really like yet. So
Well, we'll just keep trying then. What a great challenge.
Yeah,
Diana asks, is there a food that you eat here in the United States that you're going to miss when you return home?
steak.
Steak. Kazi, how about you?
I know I'm being repetitive, but I'm gonna miss the lasagna. But I had some steak too. It was really good. So we do steak back home, but I don't think it's totally different from the United States. So I probably missed that too.
So when you say it's totally different, how's it different?
I think in like the way we prepare it, because back home in the Caribbean as a whole, we use a lot of different spices. So that's what I think is like a main difference between like the United States or different parts of the world and the Caribbean, is that we use a lot of spices to bring like a type of a different, like a taste, like a sensation, like a different, So that's what I think a major difference is. So that's why when I say different, I mean in like in terms of how we prepare it, like the spices.
Sure. Yeah, sure. So there must be American restaurants in Nassau.
Yeah, there are. We have, you have the traditional Wendy's, you have the McDonald's, the KFCs. We have a lot of American restaurants, especially fast food restaurants. there. And I think
Are there any that you like in particular here? Ask
here,
Diana.
yes, Denny's. I love Denny's. Denny's has my heart as much as lasagna does.
I think the last time I was at Denny's was in graduate school, about 3 o'clock in the morning. No more details are necessary than that.
What do we consider
How
fast
about you?
Yeah, my question is, what do we consider fast food? Is it restaurants, like proper restaurants, or just the ones that are, like Wendy's and stuff, or McDonald's and stuff?
I guess probably the big distinguisher for me would be a fast food restaurant is so fast that it doesn't come on a plate,
Right.
or it has a drive-through. So it comes like wrapped in something and, in a little clamshell thing, or wrapped in paper or tin foil or something like that.
Right. So I'm gonna go with Popeyes
Uh-huh.
fried chicken.
What do you like there? The
Fried
chicken?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the chicken, it's pretty delicious. And then, I mean, don't judge me, but I do like Burger King. I like it. I know.
Nothing's wrong with Burger King.
Oh, you wouldn't know. My friends, they just are like, really? Burger King? I like it.
There shall be no Burger King slander. Nothing's wrong with Burger King.
No,
Nothing
Burger
is
King
wrong with
slander.
Burger King. Yeah, Burger King, and then Five Guys. Yeah, those would be my go-to. As you can see, I'm honing in on those burgers. You see? 2 out of 3.
Yeah, I have to say, the one thing that I really miss when I travel outside the United States for an extended period of time, I mean, I like going to eating all local food whenever I travel, just because it is so special. But the one thing that I'll miss is a very well prepared cheeseburger. I love cheeseburgers.
It's so good.
Yeah.
There's no comparison. It's just amazing. In fact, I didn't eat beef before coming to America. Not that I was against it. It's just not readily available in India. But
Sure.
my first friend in WKU, she's from China, and she cooked me, like, it was a bonding process for her towards me. She cooked me a steak in Bemis dorm, which is no longer existent anymore. The kitchen was size of, I don't know what it was, too small, and she cooked me an amazing steak. And because I didn't want to be rude, I went ahead and ate it. But the first bite, that's it, game changing.
Yum.
It just got me hooked.
Have either of you tried, with Mardi Gras coming up? Have either of you tried Louisiana Creole or Cajun food?
Yes.
Frankly, I have to say, in my head, having never been to Bahamas, I would sort of jump at like, oh, that's like Creole. Bahamian food would be like Creole food that you might get in Louisiana, and I'm sure I'm like way off. Also, never been to Louisiana. Just to admit that. Have you had that, Kazi?
To answer George's question, I've tried Louisiana food. I've been to New Orleans, so it was a pretty good experience. So with the Creole part, it tends to be that we do kind of have similar food, but it's different. Because we're all a part of the Caribbean, but so we adopt recipes basically from each other, but it's kind of different. I can't really explain it too well, but it's kind of a difference. If you was to get something in Creole from the Bahamas.
I've been to New Orleans as well, and I did try those foods, and it was delicious. Also gumbo and po' boys. It was really delicious.
Yeah, you guys beat me there, and I've got to get there. I've got to go to New Orleans. Well, we've talked for quite a bit. We've had several questions, and I really appreciate. But I know, Subarna, you like to cook, and we have other international students. Kazi, you like to eat, and we have other international students and American students who like to cook as well. we would welcome the opportunity in Food Trotters to do some food demonstrations or ideas, to talk about, we've talked more generally, but to talk more specifically about a certain kind of food, or, maybe some kind of fusion between, say Creole and Bengali, something like that could be really kind of fun. I don't know. But, please write to us, either direct message us or write to us at ISSS. And I'm going to invite Savannah in here in just a second. But before I invite Savannah in to talk about some of our social media and ways of being in contact with us, just one last thing that you'd like to share with us, Kazi, about anything about food, or about food in the United States or back in Bahamas.
Well, I will say one thing I miss about my Bahamian food. We have a lot of greasy food, Bahamian greasy food. You have your bamboo, dirties, stuff like that. Royals. So like I really, really, really miss that. That's where I get my conch from. So yeah, like Sarah was saying, bamboos and dirties fast food is very greasy food, but we really, really, really love it. I really, really, really love it. And I was thinking about the Creole question again. And Creole is not necessarily it's not Bahamian. It is part of Haiti and the Caribbean, but it's totally kind of different with the spices and the way we prepare our food. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Yeah, no, great. Thank you. So Barna, how about you? One last thought.
One question that I get asked a lot is about what are the kind of go-to spices that I use in my cooking and stuff. I would be happy to share the list. It's very basic. It's cumin, coriander, salt, turmeric, and garam masala. If you have those, you're pretty much good to go with any Indian food. And one last thing I would say is my connection to food is I always remember by being back home, me and my brother, we would go out to street food joints and eat a lot of different, and there's this golgappas. The street food is amazing. And there's no access to that. So I do miss that a lot. He and I would just figure out what we are hungry, we want to snack on. So there's this humongous variety that just exists right out maybe a mile away. And I miss that a lot.
I want to do a whole Food Trotters on street food because the most amazing food pretty much everywhere I've been, and I've been to 80 countries, is street food. And it's just, my initial response as an American was, oh my gosh, it can't be clean. It's not sanitary. It's not whatever. There's somebody sitting there on the ground, with a little tiny burner or something, and, it can't be. But oh my gosh, the best food I've had is the least expensive food I've ever bought, from, on the street. It's really amazing stuff, Mm-hmm. So maybe we'll do one on street food for sure. And, so many people can talk about wonderful street food. So Savannah, can you come on in?
Yeah.
There she is.
First of all, Kazi, Subarna, I just want to thank you so much for being willing to share. As we kind of got together and practiced the technology for this session last night, we learned about all kinds of amazing foods that Subarna is making, like her butter chicken pizza and butter chicken lasagna. So, girl, we definitely want to have you back to show some demos of some food. And so that kind of leads into my request. If you're passionate about food from your home country, if you've visited a country, if you've lived in another country, and you love food culture, if you consider yourself a foodie and you want to participate, please comment below, send us a DM. You can also email us. I'll pop this back up here on the screen at the ISSS@wku.edu. I would love to connect with you. And then also you can connect with us on our social media accounts. So WKU Global on Instagram, WKU Global on Facebook. And then I want to do a little plug. This series, Food Trotters, is part of a larger series called the Global Learning Forum that we started this semester. And you can see our full calendar at wku.edu/international/GLF. And I'm going to try to share my screen here so that we can look at the website briefly. There we go. this is where this will take you. You can watch an incredible video here at the beginning that will show you a little bit more about what you can expect through this series. As you can see, we even have some great stuff coming up here this week, next week. Lots of opportunities. So as you look through this calendar, as you watch the events that we have, if you have ideas or cultural things that you want to share, please, we want to hear it. Let us know. The whole concept of having WKU Global social channels and Global Learning Forum is to create a platform for people to share. So thank you so much for watching, for participating. We are definitely going to have this and other presentations that we've had in the past couple of weeks archived up on our website, so you can hit those at the URL below too.
Thank you, Savannah. Savarna, thank you very much. I so much appreciate our conversation.
Thank you.
Kazi, thank you. It's wonderful. I cannot wait to sit at a table with you guys and just eat.
We are looking forward to that too. We actually missed the Ramadan meals.
Yeah.
I do too. Well, you know, I promise one of my favorite things to cook is paella, Spanish paella. My wife loves Spain, and she does a food as culture program in Spain. But we have a big, huge paella pan, and we'll all come together and have paella sometime. So have a wonderful evening. Thank you again so much, Kazi and Savarna. And we'll see you later. And Food Trotters, we'll see you later.
Thank
Bye,
you
everyone.
for having us. Bye.
Go Tops.